yourself, you know, say hi, hey, I'm gonna be in your city in whatever 30 days.
I think you should invest your money to phone calls to her or Skype calls. It's or our new service. So we're doing Skype calls. So if you guys interested in Skype calls, please reach to me. So and I will set it up. I think girls really like that. They can see you. You know, they can already decide if they want to meet you or not, and you can decide too during the Skype call instead of writing so many letters back and forth. You know.
Yeah, because video call will be way more helpful, so you can see each other, you can hear each other's voice, you can watch each other's body language, so it can tell, you know, right away that she's into you or not into you, so you'll have that idea, you know, and you'll know.
Yeah,
should
in
you
that
continue?
30 minutes call, you can get so much information, and you can, you know, decide already if you're even willing to meet her. If not, go move on and find another girl, you know, instead of writing back and forth, you know.
Okay. Actually, a few more questions. I know. From Reddit, how many days is the best to attend? As far as well, I mean,
Depends
as many
how
as you
many
can
girls
get. Well,
you're
yeah,
going
depends how many people
see.
you're meeting, whatever your how much of vacation time you have. More is better because, you know, the goal is not to go on a bunch of first dates. It's not gonna get you anywhere just because you meet someone one time. You know, she's not gonna wait for you, even if she liked you. For that long, so you want to establish a connections, you want to go on multiple dates with the same girls, so, you know, make sure you have enough time to do it, to actually date people. So if you're short on time and you're meeting quite a few people, I'd recommend to schedule a bunch of dates, like the first and second date, just go like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 coffee dates, because it will help you eliminate people that you're not interested in or they're not interested in you. Yeah, just
plus if you go to Ukraine now, you're going to have your test done, your insurance, and you fly such a long way. You know, it's a lot.
Well, for some people, so if somebody from Germany to them, 2-hour flight, it's not a big deal. But yeah.
If you go from America there, or Australia,
might as well spend this
longer
amount of time, because you're not going to be coming back most likely fairly quick. So yeah, if you live in Europe and if it's 2-hour flight for you, there is a good chance, you'll be able to be going back and forth fairly often. It's not expensive, it's not far. But if you fly in 25, 30, 40 hours to see her, what a chance you'll be able to make such trip, I don't know, within a month or two.
From chat, how much should the average guy on a tour budget for hiring a translator for dates? So let's presume this is for one city. Any suggestions?
Basically, it will depend on whether you're dating women who speak English or not. So interpreters, if we're talking about Ukraine in this case, it's about $20 an hour. So that's hard for me to say how that's gonna unfold for you, because again, I don't know whom you're gonna be meeting. Maybe you'll meet the girl and she'll, her first date you definitely need an interpreter, but then she feels comfortable with you and you can just figure out the communication on your own. You can use a Google translation app, that's free. So it really depends on how comfortable you and the lady with each other. Do you really need a lot of help and support? So again, calculate $20 an hour and figure out how many people you're meeting, how many first dates you're going to be having. So
yeah, first date, pretty much everybody wants a translator, and then they're fine, because it's not a totally strange language for us. So we're watching movies, we're learning that in school, university, in college. So she might speak some even with maybe translator, Google Translator help. So, but for first date, even if girls speak English, kind of shy, but if she feels comfortable with you, probably next day she won't need it even. But for first date, yes, you should plan to spend some money on a translator.
From Stingray, the girls that are actually the ones on the pages, difficult to believe all those girls are actually single. They could get a guy in less in New York minute. Well, but that's why they're on a website,
That's all purpose, for us.
So
it exists.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No worries.
There are more girls than guys there, and they're trying very hard to look their best, because it's a big competition there, so that's why they're looking so good. But unfortunately they don't have a lot of guys to date. so they look
Yeah,
somewhere
or they
else.
have enough guys to date. The problem is finding someone to marry. That's a whole different. Yeah, they can get a guy for just for casual dating. Yeah, that's not a problem. But because women have the traditional set of values, the ultimate goal is getting married, and a lot of local guys are just not willing to commit. And that's why I've heard that a lot of foreign men are more family oriented. So they say, well, why not give it a try? See, maybe something good comes out of it. So they expand their horizons. So yeah, it's not like those beautiful women just sitting there every night crying to their pillow, watching Bridget Jones and sipping wine and hugging the cat. No, they don't do that. Well, most likely. They probably going out with their friends, they're going on dates. Yeah, she might be writing to you, and she'll also can be, on a date with a local guy, and just see what happens first. Whoever captures her attention first, who will, with whom she will have the best connection, and in the end of the day, who will propose. Which local guy might likely not do that.
So Radium, any Germans?
Well, we definitely do have quite a few guys from Germany, again, simply because of geographical reasons. Ukraine is right there, easy to get to.
Maybe he means girls, no?
Yeah, Germans. No, it's not first girls from Germany website. No, we do. Well, I'm sure there are two. The Ukrainian girls, I think 2 or 3. They just work in Germany, but they're Ukrainians, if that's what you're asking. For Mark, what happens if you go to meet your parents and your father offers you a drink, but you don't touch a drop of alcohol? How do you politely decline?
Oh, Mom going to be so happy with you, actually, because it's a big issue there, as I said before, the drinking problem there. So yeah, you just say, no, I'm not drinking. So Mom going to be big support of you. So don't worry about it at all.
I would suggest, in this case, just talk to your girl before this meeting with parents happen, and I'm sure she knows you drink. So just ask her to give father heads up that you don't do it, so he doesn't even bring the vodka. So will be easier.
Believe me, it's even plus for you, not
then
nothing bad. Yeah. Stingray, can you just get their cell numbers, or do you have to pay a ton for that?
Well, there is a fee. So if you want her to sign number form, exchange contact information, of course there is a fee associated with that. So you can reach out to me, and the price depends on specific destination. So just reach out to me and give me the ID number of the girl, and I'll give you the price quote. From Radium, some of these women are high maintenance and want to be pampered. Well, who doesn't? Many have had profiles up for years.
I have so many girls there, and you probably, guys, it's your fault because you're looking at those high maintenance girls and they pop up probably first on our page. But we have so many girls and nice looking, down to earth, But if you're looking for that girl's high maintenance, so you prepare yourself. So they want to keep it up. So that's a lot of money to look like that. And they're looking for guys, but unfortunately they're looking for guys who can support those stuff. So, but we have a lot of girls there. So,
of course, if you're expecting to pick any of the banner girls, by banner girls I mean those profiles that you see on the first page on the top, that's the girls who get the most clicks. That's the most popular girls on the website. So obviously the most attractive ones. You guys do it. We don't select them. It's you guys clicking on it. So of course, if you picking, the top profiles, you picking those models. Well, be prepared. There is a good chance that some of them might have high expectations, high standards, and will expect the current lifestyle. So, if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. There are 75,000 women on the website. There are plenty of normal people.
A lot of girls.
Pick normal ones. Yeah. And again, they're still all beautiful, but you just can't tell. Just stay away from the banner girls. Probably will be a good way to tell.
Again, from Radium, 90 days is not long enough. Well, before that 90 days, you mean for fiancé visa, right? When she get here and she has 90 days and you together have 90 days to decide if get married or not. Before that 90 days, you will have a year to decide. So you will For example, you've been dating for a while and then you decide to apply for fiancé visa. You will still have minimum 7 months to decide. While you have a paperwork, they're not going to give you the fiancé visa right away. And now for everything being closed, probably will take a year. So you will have a year before that 90 days. 90 days just for her to come here and see if she can even live here in America, because it's kind of culture difference. So
Yeah.
is she going to be away from her family? It's for her to decide if she can be away from her family, from her friends. Can she start her life here with you? You know, she ready for that? So that's what's the 90 days for.
See if you can live together. Can she live with you, leaving your socks all over the place, including on the couch, you know?
Yes,
Just
yes,
one of those.
yes. So you will have much more before that 90 days. And then she'll get the temporary green card, so you will have another year or two before you
years,
apply
yeah.
for a permanent resident card. And I don't think it's hard to get divorced while she having that temporary green card.
Yeah, I mean, you can get
So-
divorced, but most likely she would have to go back. There are a few exceptions, in like the spousal abuse or something, some other horrible things. So, yeah, hopefully that's not the case. So yeah, the divorce usually doesn't happen within the first 2 years. I mean, like any relationship, maybe, you know, years and years into that, you know, people can just grow apart and, you know, things happen. But, you know, again, the divorce rate is still way lower than domestic ones. So it's not a guarantee of anything. There is no, you know, never guarantee that two of you will be happy till the rest of your days, and it's, you know, just the end of the, it's end like fairy tale, you know. But hopefully that's the case, as long as two of you put, you know, enough effort into this relationship, try to keep it going, and no matter what happens, you know, you're just trying, you're working on it, you two, you will be okay. From Edward, can we still do an individual tour to Ukraine in November or December of this year? Is the Kyiv most popular city for individual tours? Where do most guys stay while in Kyiv? Can I get an email address for one or two ladies after exchanging email letters using the AFA website? Lots of questions, so let's start from the beginning. As far as the individual tour to Ukraine, November, December, absolutely, Ukraine is open. There's nothing stopping you. Go. Just let me know, you know, where you're going, when you're arriving. You know, we'll take care of the paperwork and everything we need to do. So that's a piece of cake. December, I mean, again, Ukraine is still open. I don't know if it will be open in December or not. If it's open still, consider that holiday time is coming up. So end of December, that's when everything starts shutting down. A lot of people are going to be traveling out of town to spend time with their families. So I would say any time between like December 28th, 29th to January 10th is really not a good time to travel to Ukraine. So plan accordingly and you'll be fine. As far as whether Kyiv the most popular destination, yes, it is, definitely, because it's, you know, big tourist-friendly city. You know, it's really easy to get around, and I love Kyiv. I mean, it's one of my most favorite cities, and I'm not saying it, you know, because, well, I'm Eastern European myself. I mean, I just like the atmosphere, the combination of, you know, the modern city and the history it has to offer. You know, it's just, there is something special about it. On the other hand, I would also recommend for guys to consider traveling to other cities because, well, Kyiv is the most popular destination. It says it all, because women in Kyiv get the most attention, and girls in, well, any other city totally get overlooked. And there's so many nice, beautiful ladies. You know, just you might find, you know, just some precious gems there. You know, if you just expand your search. Yeah, it's a little bit more out of the way. It's a little bit more inconvenient than just, you know, flying to Kyiv. You'll have to probably take a train or do another flight, depending on where you're going. But isn't that worth it to just, you know, put a little extra effort in finding the right person for you?
So where he can stay in Kyiv?
Stay in Kyiv anywhere close to Independence Square. I would suggest to stay like 2 mile stops away from Independence Square. It's the biggest tourist place, all the hotels, restaurants, and all that fun stuff. You know, so try to stay close to Independence Square, and that's where the office is. So whatever it is you need, the office is there.
Yeah, and if you want to have a contact information from the girl, you will have to email us. There is a fee you have to pay, and then we'll provide, if she is okay with that, we'll provide you with her contact information, of course. Of course you can.
Daniel, Anna, do you have any good experiences in relationship with Americans, or do you prefer European men? I do not discriminate, you know. Let's put it this way. I mean, it really depends on the person, not necessarily the nationality. From Vauxhalls, I believe the socials are very close to each other while on the tour. Why are they so close between each other? As won't everything be rushed in the first city before the next? Yes, on one hand, and there is a reason why we do socials really back to back. So you can meet everybody right away and you have enough time to actually for follow-up dates. Because imagine, so we have one social in the beginning and one social towards the end of your trip. What happens if you meet the one at the last social? The day before your tour is over, you need to go home. You know, that's just a waste. Because you will not be able to establish the relationship.
Wow,
so.
I can imagine you met her on the last day and oh my god, you have to go back. You're going to feel bad.
Yeah. So
Yes, time to date.
It is a hustle, it is inconvenient, but it's totally worth it again because you go in there not to necessarily have a vacation, but you're looking for the soulmate for, you know, for your future wife.
From Radium, what happens if I get sick? What to do with the medical care?
Well, try not to get sick, but if you do, if you're talking about Ukraine, that's still a piece of cake. So, you know, just talk to our staff. If you need to call, ambulance, we definitely, or hotel staff can do it. We can call it for you. So if it's really that bad, if it's something minor, again, we can help you schedule an appointment with doctor. Thank God, healthcare in Ukraine is pretty cheap. So even if you wouldn't have health insurance, that's fine. I mean, that's still, it's very, very, very affordable. It's not like here. And you know, most of you guys gonna have the health insurance that you're gonna purchase before you go. So basically, you pay out of pocket, and then you just keep all the receipts and you provide it to your healthcare company, and you just will be reimbursed in the end. Might take a little time, but again, we're not talking about a lot of money there, so you will be fine.
From Frank, what is the status of November tour? How many social will be there?
Zero socials
Fortunately.
will be. So unfortunately, guys, I hate to say it, but November tour is cancelled. I'm just very sad that it happened. You can't even imagine how much I was waiting for that tour. So as you, I'm sure, guys, but yeah, so no tours this year. So COVID, pandemic, we can totally scratch off 2020 from the tour map.
You still can, guys, go on.
Yeah, you can go on your
tour.
own, so it doesn't stop you. So, but there will be no socials this year anywhere in any of the destinations. So this year we're done with socials for obvious reasons. We really tried. We were hoping, and at some point it looked like there's a possibility of tour happening, and we made the reservations. We booked the social venues and all that happy stuff. And then local guidelines changed, and here we are, hoping for 2021 now. Do you want to?
From Radium, there are never any events in my city. It would be great if there were events in Michigan. They never hold them there.
Well, I mean, as far as seminars, I mean, we would be happy to go to Michigan and do a seminar.
Yeah.
Let's wait,
next year.
Yeah, next year. Pandemic is over, because again, having social gatherings, including seminars right now, is a little challenging, as you guys can imagine. But once things get better, we're definitely gonna post a new schedule for the seminars. I mean, Dina will be happy to come to your city and meet you in person. And you can tell us all the good restaurants nearby the venue, so so we can go and explore that.
Stanley, is it better to stay in a hotel or Airbnb?
I would say if it's your first time in the country, if you're not positive what you're doing, I'd suggest to stay at a hotel, simply because if you need any help, there is a front desk. They're 24/7 for you. So whatever it is, you have a stomach flu and you need to have to see a doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning. You go down lobby and tell the receptionist you need it, and they will call that for you. If you need to call a cab and you don't know how to use Uber, or there is no Uber available in the city, that's not a problem also, then you can just talk to front desk. So whatever it is, they can make really good recommendations so you have the support person there the entire time. For your second, third, whatever trip, once you know the city, you know what you're doing, so it's all good, then you can stay at Airbnb. But again, make sure it's in a good part of town. So.
How many days so how many days are best, 10 or 14?
Whatever you can do, really.
I think the more the better.
Yeah,
the
because
more
you
girls
need to
the better.
establish yeah, go on date takes time, and establishing a relationship takes time. Because again, imagine you find the one you really like, but guess what? She has a job. So it's not like you're gonna be spending 24/7 together. So you know you'll be able to go on a date. Then she probably has to work, and you'll be able to see her maybe in the evening after her work or before work or something like that. But you would have to feed the work and other, whatever it is she has, other things she has going on in her life.
Yeah, because she has her own life, so she's not really, going, like quit her job just to meet with you like every day. She still had to work. She probably have a kid. What if kid gets sick? So she needs 3 days, for example. So and you could meet with other girls while you're waiting. So I think the more girls, the better. It sounds terrible, but believe me, it's better for you if you have some backup girls.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it does sound horrible, but until you're in a committed relationship, that's okay. Because just because you go, you're not really dating this girl yet. You just went on a few coffee dates, so you're not in a relationship just yet. So there is nothing wrong with grabbing a few more phone numbers of other girls and just meeting a few more people. And and then you'll be following up with them once you go back home, and hopefully something will come out of it, and there'll be connection with this first girl. But if it doesn't, you have some other people contact information, so you can always reach out to them maybe later and see if there's something there. I mean, if not, then not. But what do you have to lose?
From Freddie, it's wonderful to meet the ideal person for life.
It would be nice. So but first of all, there are no ideal people. They don't exist. It's like unicorns. Ideal people do not exist. None of us is just as ideal. We all have our moments.
Yeah, so we have to have a lot of patience, especially in international marriage. So
just need to find the right one for you. The one, so it's just, something who matches with you. So, somebody who can share love with you, who gets your jokes, who's comfortable around you, somebody whom you can, share your secrets with, have a good conversation, just have a very good connection. So, ideal, actually it's kind of horrible to date an ideal person when you think about it, because you have to match. You always have to be on your toes. You never can relax, because you have to be ideal the entire time. It is very stressful, and I would not wish that to anyone.
Resume, why are some cities omitted from seminars?
They're not. I mean, we're just, again, let's see what we'll end up having for the next seminar schedule. So if you guys, want us to come to your city, once we start scheduling seminars, not just yet, but later on next year, just send us requests, because, we don't know. In some cities, seminars are more popular in town, like 3 guys. Like, seriously? We just flew here for 5 hours just for 3 guys?
I've never been in Australia, right?
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, John. John's going to be doing that one himself.
They say there no cases of coronavirus there. In Australia.
You offered to go there and bring some with us?
Yeah, right.
No, beautiful country. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I love Australia. I'd go anywhere for that matter.
So we have a Michigan on our list now. So guys, you need to email us or tell us.
Email John, basically. So just
we can tell John too.
Yeah. Well, later on next year, again, once we start doing the seminars, maybe we should have like a little poll question.
Yeah.
So vote for your city, or leave your city in the comments. So more of those votes we get, more chances, we'll end up going there. We usually go to the large cities, obviously, because there is a lot of interest. We do have bigger seminars, just like, New York or LA, somewhere south of LA, Texas. I think Texas is there because There is one restaurant
Oh,
in Texas.
no.
John always
Don't
go for
start.
his real parmesan, and we always have to. That's why he schedules those seminars, so he
Is
can
it
go.
Dallas?
His
Dallas?
I think
Yeah.
it is near Dallas. I do not remember. So yeah, it's near
Dallas.
Dallas, and the entire office knows about John's real parmesan. So that's just.
I hope they didn't close that restaurant during pandemic.
Yeah, can you imagine? So yeah, if they did close that restaurant, guys, who
He
live in
gonna open
Texas,
it
you will
there.
never see John again because there is no point. From which?
AH.
From age. Darn it, I should have done the tour last year when I had the chance. Well,
Guys, we've been talking about it. Hurry up and go on the tour. Something could happen. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
don't. Yeah, it's good to plan. I mean, like, a lot of people like to. It's very common for this culture. Plan ahead. But then you can see things like this happen, a pandemic, and it just screwed up with everybody's plans.
It's okay, stuff happens. Believe that next year will
But
be
the problem is
better,
longer
you know.
term, you're planning more chances for things going wrong. So if you're planning doing something 2025, well, I mean, there's 5 million things that can go wrong. So if you have opportunity to do something sooner rather than later, do it. You'll figure out later.
Yes, plan in near future because something could happen too, in 2 years, in 3 years. Look at so much, going on now. So as soon as we have tour at AH, you should go. So just,
For Mark, how do you handle starting a serious long-term relationship when you have never had done one before? Well, you need to start at some point, so you just start and figure out as you go. So basically, we need to really have communication going. So once you meet the one you like, communicate, Skype,
Yeah,
text.
just make sure that you don't push yourself in that relationship if you don't feel a lot, but you say, hey, it's time for me to start a relationship, no matter what. So you still have to have chemistry. That's very important. I think relationship cannot survive without chemistry at all. So it's just going to be torture for both of you. So just if you feel something to the girl, yeah, you should, start your relationship. If nothing, move forward.
Yeah, just because you want to get married, it's not
Yeah.
like the first girl that says hello to you.
Believe
like,
me,
you,
it's going to be
let's go.
torture.
Yeah, let's go get married. You seem to be nice enough. So obviously, no, you need to find the right person for you, and she needs to figure out that you're the right person for her. So that's where the communication is the key. So you need to be presented in each other's life daily. So keep talking, find out all those little details about each other's life, daily routine, and see how compatible you are. So chemistry is great, but then again, if you're not compatible on a just daily routine level, there's nothing common between two of you. The chemistry will disappear at some point.
Yeah, relationship is a work. It's a patient. It's work. So it cannot be like if you do nothing, it cannot survive. So you have to still. It cannot be ideal, even if you meet your girl. So you still have to work on your relationship. So it's never can be smooth all your life. Something could happen. So, but I think if you meet the right girl, you will feel it, and it's not going to be hard. So much
I guess,
hard,
yeah. Even though the relationship is work.
With the socials be once they resume.
Let
Do
me
you-
get my crystal ball.
Do you believe the same amount of ladies will attend or fewer?
Again, my crystal ball. Well, again, a lot of things depends on the guidelines, what we can have, how many people we have. The world is going to change after this pandemic. It is going to be different. Once this thing is over anyway, it did affect people's mindset already. So I don't exactly know how life is going to be once it's over. It still will have some effect, but I cannot predict. If I could predict, I probably would do some sports betting and actually would make some money on that. But unfortunately, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict how things will unfold. So let's find out next year, hopefully. From AH, some men are okay with marriage or the 1-year green card deal, but don't want kids. Well, as far as the kids thing, well, that's something you talk even before you file for a fiancé visa. You don't do this while she's here. Oh, by the way, honey, I get you're 28, you want to have a child now, but too bad I had a vasectomy. Well, that you talk about before you get to the fiance visa, probably even early stages of your dating, you know, because having a kid, it's something you cannot compromise. You can't have half of child, so you either have it or you don't. So that's something you really need to discuss it with her. That's one of the, you know, deal breakers that people cannot negotiate about. That's very important.
From radio, most women want kids, especially younger ones.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
natural.
Yeah, it's you know, majority of women on the website, if you know they're under the 40 and they do not have a child yet, they would want to have a child. I would say 85 to 90%. So it is normal to expect. So if you don't want to have kids, talk to them pretty much right away. Maybe not in the first marriage, how are you? And then we can switch to important subject. But you really should get to it, you know, somewhere in the beginning more or less, because it's really important.
For drummer, Chicago, hello, I'm a short man and it seems there are a lot of very tall women. What are my chances? It's not true. So they're all wearing very high heels.
Define tall, first of all.
Yeah.
And there is Philippines too.
Oh yeah. They're
Actually,
very
Colombia
short.
too. So maybe, yeah, Ukrainian's a little taller, but yeah, here Colombia,
But
Philippines.
it's not. They're not really. No.
Yeah,
You
I
just
mean,
think
a lot of
because they're
people
wearing
would
high
not really
heels.
discriminate also. I mean, if they happen to, you know, their partner is somewhat shorter than them, for the most of people, it doesn't really matter. Of course, for some women, it would matter.
Maybe
But-
again, you guys looking at that high maintenance girls who is working as models there in Ukraine, for example. So, and of course, they have to be tall, but not all of them tall, of course.
From AH, should I report red flags? Well, we don't have a report system. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if you have questions, concerns, call us. We'll talk about it. So if you know, if you know, she did something really, really wrong, and then definitely talk to us. See what you know, if you know she scammed you out of money, and she'll be on the next plane home. So, you know, you just need to understand what her expectations are. So there are polite ways to talk about it, not like, okay, show me your tax returns, but, you know, just, you know, something reasonable. And as far as sex, well, yeah, you probably don't want to talk about it on the first date either, and you might not necessarily talk about it. I guess you'll
On
find
the
out
second date either.
Yeah, well, I guess that you'll find the compatibility,
Maybe in your
you'll
next
find out.
visit.
Well, that, I mean, I think people will just figure out without the conversation. I think that, you know, they can.
Okay, talk
can-
about finances, but don't talk about sex.
Yeah,
I
just
think
that
about
you figure
finances
out
is
as is. You don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Don't brag about that finances that you're making a lot of money, you know, because most of the girls don't make a lot of money there, you know, and lives in apartments, so they might be shy about that. But you
Yeah.
know,
So just
be careful.
yeah, you know, use common sense, be polite, and you know, but something actually worth talking about again, just in very, very polite fashion. From Stingray, any farm girls or this all city girls said this means, well, because we at if we're talking about socials, it is big city girls because well, Kyiv, Odessa, large cities. So this places where we do socials, it is, you know, those are big cities. And if we're talking about different countries, I mean, yeah, I mean maybe in like Philippines might be a little bit different experience. But if it is Eastern Europe, yeah, that will be, you know, girls from big cities. But even Latin America, I mean, you know, San Jose, Medellin, Cartagena, fairly big cities. So
I just want to say that even if it's a Kiev and the girl come from the small, she might come from a small city just because it's more work in Kiev, but it's maybe not on her like wish to live there just because she maybe need to support her family and make money in Kiev. So, but maybe
Yeah.
she would be okay to live in a farm. You know, it depends
yeah,
on
just
the girl.
yeah, just something to to talk to her about it. And I guess the last one for today, yeah, Vauxhalls. I hope two of you come over to the UK when the seminars return 2021.
Oh, yeah, we would like to go there.
And once you guys waive
So-
your 14-day quarantine requirement, I'll be happy to. Love London. Well, actually, anywhere else for that matter too. But yeah.
I've never been to London, so would love to go
Oh, I'll
there.
show you a lot of good places. Yeah, I know quite a few. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. It was a pleasure as usual, and we will see you another Monday night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.